about. Really, we do. But when do we panic? The polar ice caps have melted. 100,000-year-old ice mass. Going, gone. Now, some people think that under Antarctica is Atlantis. And when the polar ice caps melt, it will be unearthed. Well, that's a plus, but we won't be here to appreciate it. Because as the polar ice caps melt, the methane gas will rise, and then the Gulf Stream will slow down, and then the permafrost will melt, and then the methane gas will rise, and then the Gulf Stream will slow down, and it'll keep going back between the coldest, hottest, wettest, coldest, hottest, wettest, coldest, hottest, wettest. But you know that. We know that. We've had more information than we've ever had. But what do? When do we panic? When peak oil happens? Well, that happened already. That's what all the uproar is about. Arab Spring is an Arab nightmare. And they're going to be the biggest losers. Why? Because we have the biggest guns. Or maybe we'll panic when they privatize all the water. Well, we know about that. That already happened. Do you know how many of these I pick up every day, most of which are half full? Do you know that it takes 1.5 billion tons of plastic to make bottled water every year? That the world consumes 50 billion bottles of bottled water every year, and the United States consumes 30 billion of those bottles, and we happen to have some of the cleanest water in the world? Oh, yes, we care. We care about what we care about. Or the Mexican farm worker that crosses a war zone of vigilantes, drug warlords, and federal agents, only to work in fields of heavy pesticides, intolerable housing, low wages, doing that work that some Americans just won't do, but Mexicans will, by golly. Sometimes when people ask me if what I'm eating is organic, I want to hit them. And I know that's not the right response. I went to those California cuisine restaurants, the ones that took over the mission, the ones that serve up, $10 plates of polenta, getting back to wholeness, eating well. Better yet, the food trucks, the ones that took over the mission and now sell $15 tacos made by white people. Well, now those polenta eating people of the third world, they don't eat it all. You know what? You can call me a socialist. You can call me a communist. You can call me anything you want. But nobody's going to care what you call it when they bring in the big guns, when California is completely out of water. Oh yeah, they'll call it something. They'll call it martial law. And they say it's for our own good, just like they spied on us for our own good. I said too much. Damn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I took so much of your time. I'm sorry. I'm listening to the news all the time. I don't even know what to say. I'm tracking this thing that's happening in Detroit. There's a riot in Detroit. You gotta hear this. Just the people trying to get their Section 8 food stamps. You gotta hear this.
We have breaking news just coming into our newsroom. It's from Taylor. That's where police are dealing with a huge, out-of-control crowd.
Let's get right to 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell, who's live at the scene. Kim, we can see the police still there right now. What's going on?
I am live on Eureka, not far, right across the street from the Taylor Human Service Center. I want you to take a look at the situation across the street right now. You can see that there are a lot of police here from numerous agencies. Brownstown, Romulus, Southgate are all helping Taylor out. We heard over the scanner that they were calling on Michigan State Police to come in riot gear to help with the situation. Here's what happened. People were lining up here, some as early as 6 o'clock last night, because Section 8 housing vouchers were supposed to be handed out this morning. Now, police, they tell me that the state didn't coordinate anyone to be here overnight to manage the crowds, and there was no one here for the police to communicate with about what to do about crowds that were lining up around the block. Well, when the lights went on here, we're told that the crowds, they just ran towards the building. They wanted to make sure they got their vouchers, and police say it just got out of control, and they responded trying to disperse the crowds as if this were a riot.
I never thought I'd end up like this. I lost my job, and my girlfriend left me. She was so unhappy. I couldn't pay the mortgage, so I lost my house.
I'm an artist. I could never save any money. It was always paycheck to paycheck. Then I got hit with a medical bill. That was it. It was the last straw.
Well, I knew the Bureau was going to hit. You know that big comment? I sold everything, put the rest on the back of my motorcycle. taxpayer who lies on their taxes, who hires an undocumented worker